father.
Alright, that was just an excuse to show you my new face mask. Alright, welcome to UncleNephew. This is a new show that we will be reviewing superhero movies and content, whether it's TV shows, movies, media, you name it. We're going to be going over the gambit of all superheroes. This show will be a review show mostly on superheroes, but we will sway from that conversation and sometimes hit different topics. It just kind of depends on the flavor of the week. Again, the show is myself, Dana, and my nephew, Jace. Format-wise for the show, we would like to break it down into 3 segments. So there will be 3 topics of the day. Usually, again, there's going to be superhero stuff, but it may sway back and forth to whatever we think is relevant at the time. Thank you for joining us. Let's get started. Let's go ahead and give my nephew a call. His name is Jace, and see what he's up to. Bam. Will he answer? We will see.
I just took someone out.
Oh, yeah? What game are you playing?
Elder Scrolls.
Elder Scrolls Online? Show me what you got going on.
Look at this thing, dude. Fire.
That almost looks like Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, I know, right?
That's crazy. That's a game that we play all the time, Sea of Thieves. Put that game down for a second, actually.
Okay.
Show me that face. Bring the camera up closer. That's good. So who are you?
I'm a wooden elf.
You're a wooden elf? And what's your name? Paladin?
Yes. Paladin.
Attaboy. But your real alias is Jace Birdsong, correct?
Yes, that is secretive, though. That is confidential.
What are you, like 15, 16 years old?
16.
16. So these are topics that you know quite well. Obviously, we're in the superhero realm. The first is the WandaVision cameo I wanted to kind of go over real quick. There are some possibilities that can be filled in this role. Obviously, Elizabeth... What's her last name? Elizabeth... Olsen revealed that there's going to be a surprise cameo, which she kind of spoiled this for a lot of people, but we'll see how that kind of reveals itself. But if you had to name a few people that you think might be fitting the shoe of this cameo, before we get into that, there's a couple things that we do know. We do know that Elizabeth Olsen said that there's going to be a cameo, but the other piece of news is Paul Bettany gloating, glooming, and glowing about how much he loved acting his scenes with this particular actor that we're calling out. We don't know who he is, but he had always wanted to work with him, leading me to believe that this is someone of interest. It's not going to be a small-time player because of what Paul Bettany's reaction really was. So give me a couple names that you think might be it and why.
I thought Doctor Strange would be the obvious choice.
That is pretty obvious, Doctor Strange. But keep going further. Let me hear what else you got.
Tobey Maguire could be a possibility just because of his fame in the MCU.
You think it'd be Andrew versus Tobey or Tobey over Andrew?
Tobey over Andrew for popularity.
Yeah, that could bring a Jedi moment similar to Luke's cameo. That is an actor that would get the audience and the viewers kind of goo goo gaga, but think of Paul Bettany's reaction to getting to work with this actor. Would he gloat over Tobey Maguire, or would he possibly be acting with an actor older than him that has a little bit more acting experience? What do you think?
Probably older. I could definitely see older.
Who else? Who else could be in there? Deadpool, maybe?
Yeah.
Or Tony? Do you think
Ryan
they bring?
Reynolds doesn't really fit that category for older.
True.
Paul Bettany would love to work with.
Wow.
Maybe Ian McKellen's Magneto.
Wait a minute. You're blowing my mind, bro. Go more. Why?
Wanda and as Quicksilver in the X-Men, they mentioned in the newer X-Men that Quicksilver is the son of Magneto. And if they filled that into the MCU, Wanda is the sister of Quicksilver. And make
Interesting.
Magneto her father, which could come into play with WandaVision.
And that also fits. Ian McKellen is someone that Paul Bettany would look up to and want to act with. That makes actual sense. You know what? I agree with you 100%. That, I think Magneto is going to fit that bill, to be honest. Think about it. It's her father. She's lost everybody in her world, from Vision to her own brother. There's speculation that they might bring the brother back as a cutscene in the next episode, where she's obviously diving into her subconscious and she's creating these visions, no pun intended, of her made up reality. So it makes sense. The whole arc of WandaVision is they're creating a villain. They're setting up, this is a prelude to Spider-Man and Doctor Strange. Once we get to Doctor Strange, she will be full villain. These are the stepping stones to get her there. And if they can create a moment and bring Magneto in, which not only brings in Ian McKellen, but one of the coolest X-Men characters, and you're also bringing in the door for X-Men characters to also follow somewhere down the line. Tony Stark might fit that bill, Thanos, but they're not. It doesn't fit like it does with Magneto. And Jace, I think you're right with the Magneto thing. That feels right to me. There's so much speculation going on at this moment. Fan theories, hexagons, different crazy things with WandaVision, but Mephisto is still a possibility. Someone might be controlling her in this whole bubble world that she's created. But do you think Mephisto and Magneto will be tied in any way?
I don't think so. I'm not sure yet. We'll see that in further episodes, but I think right now Mephisto is the one manipulating Wanda, and she's the true villain, and she's going to get Wanda to turn. But I'm not sure how they'll fit Magneto into this yet.
Did you see that thing about the neighbor Agnes, where there's a character named Agatha Harkness, and she's like an older witch? When I see Agnes, first of all, her name, A.G. Agatha, and then Harkness, Agnes, kind of fits. She is somebody. We don't know yet. But the way she acts leads me to believe that she is almost being controlled or fearful of, maybe she knows the truth, but she's fearful. Like when the neighbor was drilling through the cement and he's going crazy and he starts to divulge to Vision that almost telling him the truth, and Agnes looks at him and she's like, instead of like reprimanding him, she kind of like, don't piss him off, what will happen? So it almost feels like she's the middleman to the bad guy, or somehow I wonder if she was actually human in that town before Wanda took it over, and she's not actually part of that town, and she is a pawn almost.
Maybe.
I'm not sure yet about that one, but it's interesting. If they bring in Quicksilver in the next couple episodes, going back to Magneto's point, I'm almost 100% positive it's Magneto. Again, this whole question is who is going to fill that cameo in the final episode of Scarlet Witch. It's been told to us that there's going to be a shocking cameo, a moment almost close to what Mandalorian did with Luke. And to get to that level, it can't be just nobody. It's got to be someone big. We believe it's Magneto. Jace, do you agree with that?
I do agree. I think that fits.
I think we were at one point, Toby kind of fit that bill until we heard Paul Bettany's reaction about how much he loved working with this thespian actor, that he was just the fireworks, and the way he's describing it is someone that he looks up to. And even though Toby's a great actor, he hasn't been around long. He's younger than Paul Bettany. He hasn't been around long enough to where Paul Bettany would do something like that to me. So I believe that we're led to believe that it's got to be Magneto.
Yeah, I agree.
Joker. Let's switch topics. That was topic number 1, WandaVision cameo. Who's it going to be? Magneto's the answer for that. Topic 2, Joker. Specifically Jared Leto's Joker, which is not the most kindly looked upon. But as we both know, Justice League is right around the corner. He has shot new scenes, which there's only been a few of the actors that actually got to shoot new scenes. Zack Snyder released today, or not today, but a few days ago, a picture of Jared Leto, what it's going to look like. Have you seen that picture?
I haven't. But
So,
I have an idea of what it look like.
It's basically a blurry picture of him holding up a Joker card, all right? What you can see is it almost looks like he has a little bit more makeup on his lips to give him that Joker look, and looks like he has longer hair. What role is the Joker going to play? Like, obviously, in that trailer that we watched, we saw a scene of the League of Doom getting together, which is who? Lex Luthor, Deathstroke, and Joker. Joker was not originally in that end shot. And that shot that they showed of Joker in a boat is not even part of the movie. It's part of a music video that he shot for some other artist. They just cleverly put that into the movie and it looks legit because it fits. But what that does to the imagination is crazy. I mean, just putting him in there, getting Lex and Joker in one scene is amazing. I'm curious.
I'm very excited to see that combo.
What's gonna happen in this Snyder cut with the Joker? Like, I hope he leaves it open-ended and we can see him again. Because I truly believe that Jared Leto's Joker has not seen his best day. Apparently, there's all these scenes that were not added into Suicide Squad left on the table. Apparently, there's like a damn near a movie in there with Jared Leto. All right, let's switch topics again. This is one more thing I want to talk about before we get off. And this is topic number 3. And this specifically has to do with Christian Bale as Gore the God Killer, which is the villain in Thor. I'm starting to think that he's going to be a bigger villain than we're thinking.
I hope he is. I want to see a lot of Christian Bale. I don't want him to be a one-off.
Before we get into the actual what role will he play, what do you think he's going to look like? Do you think when you look at this character, you're going to see Christian Bale's face? Or is it going to be like Thanos where you can kind of see his face? Or do you think it's going to be something you can only hear his voice?
I'm going to say like Thanos. Because the comic book or animated visuals of this villain, he's very alien looking and monster looking.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Christian Bale is such a high-level A-list actor. They want to show as much of him as possible.
Yeah.
So I think they'll pull off with Thanos, where you'll see some of his face where you can recognize him, but at the same time, you're not seeing a human.
I tend to agree with you. I think the pictures that I've seen of Gore, which I'm not too familiar with, but I have researched some pictures online of the comic book. It's out there. He's very alien-esque looking. You know, it's not human at all. I mean, there are limbs, of course, 2 limbs, 2 legs, 2 arms, but I'm real curious to see what he's going to look like. And I've got a feeling that he might cross over to where when Thor first came out, people didn't, at least I didn't think Loki was going to be this huge thing. Loki has turned into this unbelievable phenomenon of villains. It's crazy. Tom Hiddleston has, he hit a home run.
Yeah.
Fucking a grand slam at that point. But I've got a feeling Christian Bale might do something great. I'm really hoping they don't kill him off in Thor. Keep him around. Let him... You know how we're talking about Hulk? You know how Hulk had his own solo movies, but now he's been downgraded to just starring in other people's movies. Start to appreciate Hulk more. It's like less is more with Hulk.
Yes.
I'm kind of hoping they can do that with a villain, where he can just intermittently come in to different... Because you could throw him in Guardians of the Galaxy.
He could be a villain for multiple...
Yeah.
people besides Thor.
He's
big enough where with the actor and the character, that could definitely work. I can see that.
Gore the God Hunter, dude. It just feels like... It feels like he's going to go from, like, multiverse to multiverse and start killing gods, dude. And I feel that might be a possibility.
Awesome.
Once they open up...
One of the best villains in the MCU.
Yeah.
High potential to be.
Once they open up this multiverse, we're going to see what happens, because it's going to get crazy real fast. They're going to have to hit the ground running. And I think looking into this movie Thor Love and Thunder, is it the Mighty Thor Love and Thunder or Thor Love and Thunder?
Thor Love and Thunder.
They're between the cast. You know how Taika Waititi in Thor Ragnarok, it was really colorful and vibrant. He's dealing with cancer patient recovery with Natalie Portman. Heavy stuff. He's dealing with a god that goes around, or a villain that goes and kills gods.
Yeah.
What's going to be the tone of this movie? It's stacked with actors. And I think the whole Guardians of the Galaxy's in there. Drax is in there.
Star-Lord.
Nebula. Yondu.
Yondu. Well, he died.
And it's got past that one guy. Tim Gunn's brother is actually in the movie. Quote me if I'm wrong, people. It might be his cousin, or it's a relation to Tim Gunn. I think it's his brother. But he plays that guy that at the end of Guardians...
was passed down to him.
In those leaked picture, he has the thing going over, and he has the arrow tucked in his pocket. Which is a little bit of a spoiler, watch out, but that's the way it is. All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Again, this is the first review of UncleNephew. You got me, Dana, and then you got who?
Jace.
And stay tuned for next week. Have a good one. Bye.